It's getting crazy out here, y'all. Stay focused. Let's go, KD. Take a look around you, you can find your way, babe. Yeah, take a look around you, you can find your way, babe.
Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe, find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe, find your way, babe. Hey, you the one that say that, you and me go way back. When this whole thing over, I'ma send my invoice, pay that. You don't wanna say that, you don't want this payback. I keep my composure, this my kingdom, nigga, stay back. We had a couple of moments, you had a choice, nigga, own it. Your real colors, they showing. I'm real, nigga, I'm focused. When I come around, I'm fly with it. Stay moving, do buy with it. New sound, just vibe with it. Same truth and we die with it. I see it like it's an obstacle. I never sit on the fence. Nothing to me is impossible. Music of me to the end. Most of the shit is illogical. All the young niggas depend on what they pretend. Just think what you had, stop looking at trends. You wearing your eyes like it's topical.
Now the pain is gone, the fame is on, and they play my song. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe, find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe, find your way, babe. New era, I got y'all. Real game, we pop off, no knockoffs. Open eyes, we watch out. Mobilize, won't cop out. COVID-19 cops out, don't flop now. Open skies, we fly now. New agenda, they try now. Most y'all getting real scared of the headlines, we find out. And getting real near. If you don't know, you behind now. Behind the times, government hide behind the lines. Most brands trying to monetize. All of us have to stay inside, don't socialize. Talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe, find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe, find your way, babe.
You already know this is about to be stupid.
How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of y'all face me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. How about the range? How about the range? Whoa, this a new range, new page. Got me in a new country, new stage. I ain't signed no deal, I'm too paid. I do not have chill, I'm too crazy. I do not take L's, I'm too Brady. I might be frosted, I'm not flaky. Don't know what it cost me, it's all gravy. Turn on that faucet and just pay me. Whoa, we gon' get it, bring it back. Maybe Donald is a Mac. Couple bottles, empty glass. New machine, I'm sending facts. Bump the headline, check the facts. I'm not a gangster, but I'm a gorilla. Hop on them drums when I'm feeling J Dilla. Come get your lady, cause I'm a just stiller.
How about the range? Whoa. Hey, yeah, I'm feeling strange. Whoa.
How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of y'all face me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. How about the range? How about the range? Whoa, there's no comparison. Black in America, a little too arrogant. I just embarrass y'all niggas irrelevant. I shouldn't mention it, that's royal etiquette. Out of my element, way too intelligent. Grab you a therapist, send him my sentiments. Neck full of sediments, caught me a Tesla and skirt through the valley. Dropped an investment in Silicon Valley. All of this cake, but I'm missing the patty. Might mess around and just move to Miami. Drums are so loud that they break in the chassis. King of the grass like a Lionel Messi. I am not crass, but my mental is messy. Mud in my glass while my pencil is sketching. All these rappers, but no one impressed me. Most of them actors got labels as testing. How about the range? Whoa. Hey, yeah, I feel strange. Whoa. How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of your phase me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. How about the range? How about the range? Whoa. How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of your phase me. How about the range? Whoa. Yeah, I'm feeling strange. Whoa. It's been a while since I dropped this shit. Swole fam, y'all better run this up. KD, let's go. Yeah. Aye, East Coast with that gang, West Coast with that gang, global with that gang, you know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang, West Coast with that gang, global with that gang, you know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang, West Coast with that gang, global with that gang, you know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang, West Coast with that gang, global with that gang, yeah. You know we don't play guys. I'm blessed, I never said I didn't struggle. I finesse, I never said I didn't hustle. These niggas talk so loud, the way I move is subtle. I'm the ocean, but these niggas just a puddle. Ay, oh, I swear I'm delusional. These niggas ain't using me. They want my energy, ain't nothing new, this is usual. These figures confusing me. What's gotten into me? They say I'm using their cubicles. Clipping KD like some cuticles. None of this shit is excusable. Don't need a muse when I'm musical. Ay, whoa, I'm tired of saying for truth when nobody's doing it. Yeah. They're controlling the youth, agenda of fusing them, nigga. We losing them. Matter of fact, we just abusing them. That's a fact. We try to roll with a ballad act. Fucking low key with a Tesseract. They throwing smoke when they got that. Get the fuck up out your little bubble. They wanna ask how much it costs, I said it double. Gorilla beard, these niggas only rockin' stubble. The realest nigga make these bitches start to stumble. Aye, East Coast with that gang, West Coast with that gang, global with that gang, you know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang, West Coast with that gang, global with that gang, you know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang, West Coast with that gang, global with that gang, you know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang, West Coast with that gang, global with that gang, you know we don't play guys, yeah.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Full North.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testicles. Welcome everyone to 3246 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gaincast, Mancast, Pinkcast, Sleevescast, and Slaycast in Zachariah. Because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. What's going on? Booshes, Bustas, Hustles, and Yahos. It's your boy Papa Swole back with another episode. In today's episode, the Beastcast is brought to you, is sponsored by Everest and K2, flexing on all you bees. All right, happy Wednesday, everyone. Make sure you drop the hashtag GetSwole in the comments down below for a chance to win the Swole card on Rumble, live on Rumble at the Daily Swole. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the show with your friends. Thanks for being here. Let's get into today's episode. Are you ready, Beaches? We got some Swole fan posts, some emails. We'll take questions, and then, of course, we will go balls deep. Hashtag GetSwole for a chance to win today's Swole card. Babe, just an inch. It's cold outside. All right, let's get into it. A reminder, if you have not yet downloaded the Swolenormous app, it's available in the App Store and Google Play. That's where you can find all the amazing exclusive content for members. Join us over at swolenormousx.com. We had brand new releases, major new releases on Monday, new merch. Also, we had an overtime segment last week. And tomorrow, we have our roundtable that will be available for members only. So take a moment, head on over to the App Store and download the Swolenormous app. Join the fam today, and you could be there for tomorrow's roundtable event at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, exclusively for members of the Swole fam. Looking forward to it. We haven't had a roundtable in a couple weeks, so we are looking forward to that. We'll see you tomorrow, March 27th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And of course, we still have some new drops like the Curl Bears, 20% off everything over at papaswolio.com. That merch is fire. That's American merch right there. That's some American merch. Get your Curl Bears merch over there at papaswolio.com. Check it out. That's a new drop. I can't wait to get mine in. Let's get into the first post. We'll do that again.
What's in the box?
All right. So on Sunday, I asked, progress is all about those small incremental improvements. What will you do this week to get 1% better? Jeremy says, this week I will trust myself more, that I can go a little heavier and that I could walk a little farther, and I will trust that I can do more. Before now, I rarely trusted myself. That has always limited my progress. I can do better. Can't we all? Mark, this week, one of my focuses is on my leg day. After I do my back squat, I would usually jump straight into front squats. Thought about it earlier last week. The plan is to get my back squats out of the way and then transition into either some RDLs or hamstring work before going into front squats. Also, while I'm here, I would like to say that Papa has really influenced me to change up a lot of the things in my life, not just from a fitness perspective. I'm grateful that I stumbled across this crazy long-haired bearded man spitting facts about the gym. If I didn't, I probably would be on the fat activist side with tie-dye in my hair and a bull ring. That would be terrible. Jeremy and Mark crushing it. Love it. Yeah, I would agree with pretty much everything here. I'm glad you're here with us. But also back squats and front squats on the same day, redundant. I'm not sure why you're doing both on the same day. That's pretty exhausting. Is there a reason for that? I think you're watching live. So why are you doing back squats and front squats? Just curious. But it sounds like you're getting into it. Let's check out a couple emails. Are you getting 1% better every day? That's the theme this week. Dennis says, besides my very active job, I go to the fucking gym 4 to 5 days a week and every day eat and drink very healthy. At almost 50 years old, making awesome gains. An hour ago, a young kid said, hey man, nice shirt, and started quoting your stuff. Ha. I was wearing one of your shirts. Greetings from the Netherlands. That's awesome.
Hi, puppy.
I'm curious as to what shirt that was. Shout out to the Netherlands. Fucking awesome. I love it. International House of Swole over here. All right. Good stuff. Thank you, Dennis, for sharing. Jana says, hello. Long time since I responded to one of these. Yeah, I'm striving to be better every day, drinking more water and eating more fruit. Always, if something harder comes in my life or if I need to do something that I see as hard, I tell myself I do it for my future. That's what she said. That this is going to help or to improve me in a long run. So every day is a new day to be better to yourself. Absolutely. Martin says, I think it's like getting 10% better once in a while. Smiley face. I started weightlifting almost 2 months ago and I chose a strategy to lift heavier weights with lower reps. At some point, I struggled with adding more weight for an extended period of time. So instead, I added 1 rep instead. Thank you for reminding me to go to the fucking gym. Was saying I have no time, so I created it by going to the gym from 6 to 7 a.m. Good stuff. Yeah, so progressive overload is adding weight, adding reps, or both. So a great way to do this is with the bar, you can add 1 pound. If you're doing heavy weight and you're doing low reps, like 4, 5, 6 reps, it's going to be very hard to add weight. So you're going to have to micro load, adding 1 pound to each side of the hack squat machine or whatever it is, adding 2.5 pounds to each side. You will get the same amount of reps maybe. Maybe you won't get that extra rep, but if you add half a pound even, you could add half-pound plates, you could add 1 pound plates, and even getting the same amount of reps with a little bit more weight, micro loading, is a great way to progressively overload. So when you start thinking about these macro movements for legs, people usually don't think to go that light in terms of small increments. They'll try to put on a 5 pound or a 10 pound, and that's a massive jump. So try adding, get a set of 1 pound plates or get a set of half-pound plates. And a lot of times the half-pound plates will come in a set of 6. That way you can add anywhere between half a pound to 1.5 pounds on both sides. Or maybe it comes with a set of 8. So you can add up to 2 pounds each side, and then you can grab a 2.5 if you want more. So that's a great strategy to do it. You could always add a 2.5 and then add a half pound. So you could add 3 pounds. More is more. So once you start getting down to the nitty gritty, more is more, you start making a little bit more progress because the micro loading makes a huge difference. Has anyone in the live chat, any of you gotten like a half pound set of weights or a 1 pound plate set? Huge difference, makes a big difference. I highly, highly recommend it. All right, let's get into some questions. We're going to load up the TikTok because that's just been, I don't know, it's been a good place to be. Actually, you know what? Should we call an audible here? Maybe we won't. Maybe we're going to do, maybe we'll do Instagram. Let's do Instagram. Let's do Instagram today. Why not? Why not? I'm feeling like it. Ask Papa Swole. I had TikTok already, but let's just do Instagram today. Using my instincts. All right, let's see. Let's give you a tainty man while I set this up for a second. Look at that guy. Aww. All right, fantastic. So drop your questions in the comments down below. Hashtag Ask Papa Swole. Pedro says fractional plates are nothing to sleep on. Yeah, that's what they're called. That's what they're called. So you can buy fractional plates if you buy a set from Rogue or something like that. I'm sure a lot of companies have fractional plate sets. And if you get fractional plates, they'll actually go down to, the lowest I've seen is 0.25. So 0.25, half pound, and then you'll get 0.75, and then you'll get 1 pound. So obviously you can make different combinations if you have 1/4 pound set or you have 5 pounds or half a pound, I mean. But most gyms, what they should be doing is stocking some fractional plates. If you go to a powerlifting gym or a strength training gym, a lot of times they'll have fractional plates, but they might not have enough. And the cool thing about fractional plates is you can just throw them in your gym bag because total will be like a couple pounds only. So you can throw those in your bag and they're cheap. Okay. Let's see. Michelle says my micro plates are 1.25 each. Yeah, it's pretty good. That's pretty good. You might also like to get a 0.5 pound set, and then you can use different combinations. Because sometimes maybe 1.25 might be too much on each side. You never know. But if you feel the need, you can look into that. So it's really, really good idea to get some half pound plates. All right. So let's take some more questions. John says, I need to get some fractional weights. Very practical, especially for training smaller muscles like arm days. Yeah, that's the downside to dumbbells. Unless you have magnet weights or things you can attach to the dumbbells, it doesn't always work out well. I have some, I think Microgains makes those plates that you can clip onto the dumbbell, but it's not always ideal. And it might slip around depending on the weights. Maybe it might take up too much space in terms of your grip. So that's just another strategy. All right, let's take this one from Instagram stories. 73 Goncalo. Papa Swole, how to have an alpha mindset. Well, this is kind of a cliche, but I would assume what you mean is going to the fucking gym, eating steak, improving your skills, improving your knowledge, and improve your capacity as a man. So it's discipline. Habits build discipline. Discipline is just your habits, and your results are based on your habits. So change your habits, and you'll change your life. Change your actions. All right. Varsha Pink, Papa Solio, the traditional food I cook for my fam is so high in carbs. How can I change this for my whole family? More protein. More protein. Is that really a question? Don't cook food with tons and tons of carbs. Protein. Protein should be the focus of every meal. If you don't want protein, you're not hungry. You need electrolytes, you need hydration, or you're not eating nutrient-dense food. So feeding time should be protein focused. Alec LMA 205, Papa Soya, what do you think about CrossFit? I don't think it's ideal for most people. I appreciate the community aspect of it. Some people are going to like it and do it no matter what. But if you want to build proper fitness habits and improve your lifestyle, it's just a lot of high risk and random exercise that's designed to exhaust you in the moment, not necessarily progressively overload you properly for muscle building and for joint integrity and for health long term. Doesn't mean that you can't do it. You just have to think about what the application is and what you are trying to accomplish. Not all exercise is the same, and training is much different than exercise. All right, let's shift over. Instagram's a little bit boring. Let's shift over to TikTok. That was kind of boring. It's crazy. You can have 1 million followers on Instagram and videos that go viral and they just don't show to anyone. It just doesn't show to anyone. The amount of people live on the Instagram live just then was just atrocious. It's crazy. You don't get notified at all. I guess Instagram doesn't care about live streams. TikTok does a lot of live streams, but come to think of it, I never see live streams on Instagram even when I'm on it. Does anyone else see live streams on Instagram? Apparently no one really does. All right. Jara Quinn, Papa Swolio. Do you have an academic degree? Yes, I do. I don't flaunt it because I don't really care about it. My education did not come from what I did in college. Actually, what it came from was me obsessing over fitness and learning everything I could in my free time outside of class, because a lot of it is nonsense, busy work. So I do have a degree in exercise science, but I wouldn't recommend anyone go and get a degree in it. You don't need to. If you want to be a personal trainer, educate yourself, learn, save your money, start working in the field if that's something that you're passionate about. But yes, I do have a degree. I wouldn't recommend it, though. It worked out for me at the time, but I wouldn't recommend it in 2025. See, I got mine in 2001 to 2005. That's when I was in school or in college. So I wouldn't recommend it nowadays. But at the time, looking back on it, my education and my experience came from everything I did outside, not in the school. And what I will say is that it gave me a lot of time to train, and my dorms and stuff were always right next to the gym. So it was really easy for me to access the training facilities. And I really went all in and just obsessed about it, learned everything I could and continued from there. So everything that I've learned was outside of school. But there were some things little couple of things that I got from that was valuable, but the degree did apply and I did get some benefits as a result of it at the time. But now I wouldn't necessarily put too much weight in it. I wouldn't recommend it to people, especially now. Satvik 21, is eating more and doing more cardio better, or eating less and doing less cardio better? Why aren't we talking about lifting weights?
Matt Damon.
Why aren't we talking about lifting weights? That's a strange question without context. Franklin, Pampasolio, what should you do on a rest day? Go for a walk, sauna, cold plunge, go in the sun, read a book, meditate, go to the beach, go on a hike. I don't know. What do you like doing? Yoga. Any other questions? Yeah, toxic muscularity will look good on a... We'll have to get that toxic muscularity one up. We've been really busy, so. All right, questions. We're on TikTok Live, and we're still live, of course, on Rumble and YouTube. Drop your questions in the comments. Josh Hicks, Papasolio, best movement for shoulders. Well, there's no one movement that's best for shoulders, but doing an overhead press is great. There's a bunch of different ways to do that, different humorous positions that you can use. I mean, I generally recommend people coming a little bit more to the front. If you're using dumbbells, you get a little bit more upper chest too, but doing an overhead press, doing some sort of a lateral raise, either with cables or with dumbbells or alternating depending on your training split, and then something for the posterior deltoid, but you'll hit posterior deltoid with an upper back row. But if you need to prioritize or bring up certain body parts, you can isolate and focus on those earlier in your sessions. So if you want to get the most out of a body part, you want to make sure you're prioritizing it in your routine. You want to make sure you're not doing it last. So whatever body part you're trying to prioritize, whether you're doing upper lower or full body or push pull legs or whatever, the first exercise you do in any of those workouts should be something that you're trying to target more frequently. So for example, like a push pull legs, you could do, I mean, I wouldn't do it back to back to back. I would make sure you have more recovery, but then you need more volume. It's not an ideal split in my opinion. But if you're doing, you could do a shoulder exercise, one set at the beginning of a push day. You could do one set before your leg workout. You can prioritize it in different ways. So there's nothing that's locking you into any kind of split. Just make sure that your split prioritizes the body parts that you're trying to focus on. And there's a lot of people that are trying to bring up a certain body part and then training it last, or training it at the end of a leg day, and you're doing 3 consecutive workouts. So you're going to be much more exhausted because you're doing 3 sessions, 3 days in a row. So you're just getting no stimulus, or much less than if you're training it when you're fresh at the beginning of the workout. Farjaid, Papasolio, what are your thoughts on BCAA supplements to help on recovery? I don't take BCAA supplements for recovery. I don't take BCAAs at all. I don't think that they're useful. So that's not going to help you recover. You need to focus more on sleep, better programming, and better nutrition overall, but I don't take a BCAA product. Ian Smith, so many times you have been the motivation that got me out the door to the gym. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Hi, puppy.
Hello, Timur. Timur on the chat. Yeah, Timur. All right. Jakey, I'm just taking creatine. Would you suggest anything else? Magnesium. Get yourself on a quality magnesium supplement too. Magnesium's great. Bulletproof coffee, I see. No, this is iced coffee. Or cold brew. Cold brew, I should say. This is actually cold brew with raw cream and some collagen. I don't do the butter and coconut oil. I did that years ago, but I haven't done that in a long time. I feel much better without it, but it was good for a bit. Bulletproof coffee was a great way for people to kind of, what should I say, speed run getting rid of their cravings and filling yourself up and being more satisfied because you're getting a lot of fat first thing. A lot of people that had food addictions or these constant cravings, there's a good way to be more satiated and not stuff your face with garbage. Why do you recommend magnesium with creatine? I don't recommend it with it. Creatine's great. Magnesium's fantastic. You don't have to take it at the same time, though. John says, for me, I had chicken wings for lats and stilts for calves, so I made them a top priority. They're both looking meatier. So yeah, if you are trying to, let's say, let's use John's example. So for lats, 2 moves really. 2 moves for lats. You want to do something where you're doing a sagittal plane pull to the midline of the body, like a high row or a low row or a cable row, something with your elbow by your side, and then a pull down. So frontal plane, that's pretty much all you need for lats. And then in terms of calves, prioritize it. Do a set or 2 of calves at the beginning of your workout, load that weight up, focus on the stretch, make sure you're loading it up enough so you can just get to about neutral. Don't go all the way up on your toes. Focus on the lengthened position and you will get beefy legs. You'll make a lot more progress. So the problem is people choose a weight that's much lighter, so they get all up into their tippy toes or their calves, but the calves don't have leverage at that fully plantar flex position. So from stretch to about neutral, ankle neutrality, and you could load a lot more and you'll start getting a lot more stress. You'll start getting a lot more stimulus to your calves. Stretch mediated hypertrophy for the calves. Just a guy, Papa Swole, thoughts on how to work out with two 12-pound weights when working 10-hour days, 6 days a week? That's a hell of a schedule. How to work out with two 12-pound weights. It's not enough. It's not enough. If you're just a guy, you need weights for men. You got to lift heavier. So I would prioritize it. If you're doing 10-hour days, 6 days a week, train first. Get to sleep on time, get up early, train hard, go to the gym, lift heavy weights, and then go to your work. You'll have more energy throughout the day. Am I natty? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. We talked a lot about TRT. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I'm open to it. Everyone asks me about it. I haven't done it personally, but I'm open to it. If you ask my age, I'm going to be 42 this year. Jake, can I work out with a set of adjustable dumbbells between 10 and 50 pounds? Can you? Sure. Again, I don't care if you use bands or you have kettlebells or dumbbells or you go to a gym or you have your gym in your living room. If you don't have weights to progressively overload, you're going to be capped out at how much muscle you can build. There's a reason why professional bodybuilders don't lift in their living room. You know, you need a lot more weights. You need to be able to add weights. This is why a lot of times people have gym pins where you can add weight to a stack. You can use plate loaded machines where you can add on more weight. If you don't have the ability to add more weight, you're not going to be able to progressively overload. You could do more reps, but then what are you going to do? 12-pound curls for 50 reps. You're just going to be exhausted and you're just not going to build muscle after a while. If you've never lifted before, that might be heavy for you, but then once you adapt to it, you need more stimulus. Lena W., are bands good to start with? Sure. Bands are good. Bands are even ideal for certain body parts. Bands can be great for certain body parts, but most body parts, you're better off loading in the lengthened position more. And the problem with bands is as they stretch, the resistance increases progressively. So if you're doing a 45-degree hyper with a band, that's great for glutes. Or if you're doing hip thrusts and you have one of those benches where you can have bands on the bottom, that's great for glutes. Or if you're doing tricep pushdowns and you're anchoring a band to the top of like a pull-up bar or a door, that's great because triceps have more leverage when they're closer to extension. So it's an ascending profile, but for other body parts, it's not ideal. You don't want bands for the chest because then when the bands are the strongest, your chest is not getting as much activation. Same thing with any kind of pulling or curls. You want the tension when the muscle is more lengthened. So for a bicep curl, you want more tension. That's why preacher curls are great. So a band is kind of opposite of what you want for those movements. If bands are all you have, that's great. Progressive overload still applies. It still applies. So it really comes down to understanding what your goal is and then what tools do you have. So people ask me, hey, what's the best program? It really depends. What are you trying to accomplish? How much time and effort are you willing to put into it? And here's the thing. A lot of people want to look good. They want to be stronger. They want to have a certain physique. They want to have muscle. They want to be leaner. They want to have shape. And then they don't lift to do that. They go and they do CrossFit, or they go and they just do a lot of cardio. Again, you can't just, hey, I want to look like that guy. You see a ripped guy online and he's doing cardio. Well, he didn't get jacked and ripped by doing that cardio. He got jacked by lifting heavy weights. So you have to take into account what the person, not just what they're doing in the moment, but what they did to get there. And he said, I was using 12-pound weights when I was 11, but that's all I had. I'm not even sure where they came from. They were just there, so I used them. Again, if you're starting off at 0, resistance is resistance. So if you've never lifted weights before and you do curls with 10 pounds, you're probably going to be sore. You might not be able to get 20 reps. You know, you are going to feel that. But then you're going to build strength quickly when you get that neuromuscular coordination, and you're going to need more weights. You're going to need 15 pounds and 17 and a half and 20 and 25 and 30. And 12 pounds might be great for lateral raises, but too light for a chest press, too light for a row. So you need to have the weights and the machines and the angles and stuff to target these muscles properly. Now, can you just get a barbell? You can get a squat rack and a barbell and plates. You could hit every body part with just barbell work. I did free weights primarily for a long, long time. The great thing about machines is you can get different angles, you get different strength profiles that you can't get with free weights. So there's benefits to both. There's nothing wrong with using dumbbells. There's nothing wrong with using cables. There's nothing wrong with using machines. Some machines are better than others. Some exercise with dumbbells or some exercise with cables, if you set them up properly, they can be better or worse depending on what you're trying to target. And then progressive overload. So you want to make sure that you're picking an exercise that's stable that you can progressively overload. So for example, if you're doing a band chest press, you guys have probably tried it. You attach bands to a rack or to a door and you're pushing forward. Okay. But you don't have any stability because you're leaning your body weight forward. And as those bands get really heavy, you'll push and you'll start to move backwards. You're leaning further forward. It just becomes very, very inefficient after a while. You don't have the stability. Not to mention bands aren't really good strength profile for the chest. JR, thoughts on upper lower push-pull legs, Monday and Thursday rest days. Upper/lower/push/pull/legs. Monday and Thursday rest days. So I don't really know what that split means. Like, how are you doing that? So what I would say from this, there's no point in doing push-pull separately. Just do upper lower, upper lower. Just my 2 cents on it. So the volume is going to depend on what you like to do, but more sets isn't going to get you more results. So you might like doing 2 sets for an exercise. So I usually do 1 set, 1 working set for an exercise. I'm not averse to doing 2 sets, but it has to be contextual. Maybe I load it too much and I only get 3 reps and I feel like doing another set. Is that going to be better for me? Maybe, maybe not. Am I going to like it more? I might feel more satisfied after that workout. So that factors in. If I enjoy it, I'm like, okay, let me get another set. Because if you're sticking to it and you enjoy your training, you're more likely to stick to it and be consistent. But it's not necessarily getting you more stimulus, or it's not necessarily worth the fatigue. But if you like it, you might stick to it more. Just have to use it in context. So I usually do 1 working set and then I adjust my split accordingly. So for example, yesterday I did full body. I did every other day. I did a few full bodies in a row, full body rest, full body rest, full body rest. Today I'm off. Tomorrow I may or may not do another full body. I might take an extra recovery day. And for example, if for whatever reason on a training day, I feel like training, but I don't feel like doing a full body workout, maybe I'll just do upper. The next day I'll do lower, and then I'll rest, and then I'll do full body the next time. So I can go back and forth, but I keep the same volume. Even if I'm splitting to upper lower, for me, I'm still going to do 1 set because adjusting my split is how I adjust is how I base my recovery. So splitting up the workout, doing a little less volume overall has worked for me rather than going upper lower and then doing more volume. I'm not really going to recover more because I'm doing much more volume, creating more fatigue rather than just splitting up and doing less overall volume systemically. So I like doing it that way. I do 1 all-out set for my full body, 1 all-out set per body part. And then if I feel like doing upper lower, I'll keep the same volume. I'll just split it up. So I'm doing, let's say, 5 or 6 overall sets rather than 9 or 10. That's what I've been doing lately, and it's been working for me. What do I mean 1 set? I mean warming up with 1 to 3 warm-up sets and then doing my all-out set within a rep of failure. Usually 0 RIR or failure. That's usually what I do. So if I know I get that last rep and it's rep 5 or 6, I know I'm not going to get another one. I'm not going to attempt it. Sometimes I'll try and I'm like, I'm not going to make it. So that's the same thing. It's kind of like 0 RIR. It's not really, there's really not much difference between 0 RIR and failure. If you gauge it accurately, you're not going to be able to get the next rep and you know you won't, or you attempt it and you don't make it. It's 0 reps in reserve / failure. Scottish Rose, so do as many reps to almost failure. If you're not training close to failure, you're not going to be building muscle. You're not going to be creating an optimal stimulus. So the closer you get to failure, the more fatigue you're going to incur, especially if you go higher reps, and the less volume you're going to need. So you don't need 3 sets to failure. You're just beating a dead horse. So the closer you get to failure, the less volume you're going to need. If you go within like 2 or 3 reps, it starts burning and you start getting struggling and you stop, you might have only gotten a couple stimulating reps. You didn't take it as close to failure. So maybe another set, you're going to incur more fatigue, but getting close to failure is what builds muscle. So those reps close to failure is the muscle building reps. That's the stimulus. So if you're doing 15 reps, let's say, and generally it's approximately 5 reps to failure. So if you're doing 15 reps, you start getting that stimulus at 10 reps. So if you're doing 6 or 7 reps as your goal instead, you're starting to get those stimulating reps at rep 2 or 3. So in other words, you are front loading the stimulus when you're more fresh rather than doing 10 reps to get to that stimulus point. That's where the sweet spot is, those last 3, 4, 5 reps. So if you go heavier weight, you're getting those stimulation or that stimulation from in the muscles earlier. So why do 30 rep sets for hypertrophy when you can do sets of 8? A lot less work to get even better results. I don't want to say the same results. You're going to get better results because you're not doing 25, I don't want to say worthless reps, but you're not doing 25 reps to get to that point. You are front loading your set by going heavier and dropping the weight or dropping the reps. But the proximity to failure is the same. So if you're doing 8 reps or 20 reps, and let's say you're both going to 0 RIR, you're better off doing 8 reps because you're not fatiguing yourself as much. So when I go super heavy, I don't want to say super heavy, it's relative, but when I do these one all-out set and I'm getting 5 reps or 6 reps or 7 reps, that night and that day, like last night, I feel it all over. I feel that ache and soreness. I don't get the delayed onset muscle soreness. When you train heavier and you do less volume, you kind of get it that same day. You'll really feel that kind of fatigue after the workout at night. You'll feel it. And today I feel great. I don't feel super sore. I'm also not mixing up my exercises and doing random stuff all the time. So I'm very consistent. So I'm not getting that novel stimulus and that novel mechanical damage from doing novel exercises. The more consistent you are, you can push close to failure and you won't be as sore. Remember, soreness isn't the goal. The pump isn't the goal. Soreness isn't the goal. Growth stimulus and hypertrophy is the goal. So when you really frame and you look at your training differently, what's your actual goal? And most people don't really know what their goal is. They think their goal is to feel exhausted from their training that day. So guess what they do? They do CrossFit and beat themselves up there, bleeding and lying in a puddle of their own sweat, and they're just exhausting themselves. I don't want to exhaust myself. I want to create proper stimulus. So what Kyle's asking, is it better to do less weight and more reps? The answer is no. I'm going to say not better. Can you build muscle with 20 reps? Yes. Should you do 20 reps for sets? I don't recommend it. I just don't think it's ideal, because if you're comparing the two. So when you say, is it better? I can't tell you if it's better because I need I need the context. So I wouldn't say it's better to fatigue yourself more for the same results. So for example, if I'm doing sets of 20, instead when I could be doing sets of 7 or 8, I'm going to be fatiguing myself a lot more by doing sets of 20. Maybe again, here we go. Maybe you love doing sets of 20. You look forward to it. You love sets of 20 so much. You're probably going to be more consistent with your training. If you hate doing sets of 8 and you love doing sets of 20, you're probably more likely to stick to your programming if you do sets of 20. You just have to understand that you're going to be more fatigued and you have to program accordingly. So you have to find what you like. And for certain body parts, you might like doing higher repetitions. Maybe you're doing bicep curls and you like doing 8 to 10. Okay, you don't have to do 3 reps for bicep curls. I'm not saying you can't. You need to. And you should slowly increase the weight to go down. You shouldn't be just doing 20 rep sets and then all of a sudden load up the weight and do 5. You need to build up to that kind of stress on your on your tendons and ligaments, slowly drop the weight or drop the reps and increase the weight over time to get to that zone. Don't just randomly start doing 3-rep sets. But that's my point. If you enjoy doing tricep extensions with a cable and you like doing 15 reps, okay. Just know you don't have to. You can do sets of 6. There's no rule saying, well, it's a single joint exercise. You need to go higher in the repetitions. Maybe it feels better on your elbow. Maybe you just feel you like it better. Again, if you like it better and it feels great on your body, I'm not telling you not to do it. That's it. So usually for legs, actually, for certain exercise on legs, I don't mind doing low reps. But lately I've been enjoying hack squats going a little bit higher, doing 10 to 12, because I've gone that low. And sometimes when I go super heavy, I just, my knee was kind of like not really happy with certain things I was doing. So I backed off a little bit and up the weight for certain exercise, especially if I add in some new form or I tweak things, I'll bring it up to like 8 to 12 sometimes, and then maybe slowly bring it down a little bit more. So again, certain exercises you might prefer a higher or different rep scheme. Just keep in mind why you're doing it and what the trade-offs are. Does that make sense for everyone? Ruthie, thoughts on workouts like Orange Theory doing cardio with weight training? It's not effective for building muscle. Don't lift weights for cardio. If you want to do cardio, do cardio. That's all cardio workout. You might improve a little bit of strength if you've never lifted before, but if you were lifting weights, you want to lift weights for strength and for building muscle. Separate your weight training from your cardio. Lifting weights for cardio is just kind of a way to get neither. You'll improve your cardio, but you're not going to be, it's not ideal for building muscle. And building muscle is what's going to improve your physique better, especially for ladies. A lot of women think they're going to get bulky, but having the body that they want is going to be heavy strength training. Ruthie says, thank you. I haven't seen results, so I figured. The problem with cardio is that your body will adapt to it very efficiently. Your body will adapt to cardio and become more efficient at doing the same work, expending less energy. So if you want to improve your body composition, you want to build muscle and you want to make sure that your lean mass is improving, bone density and muscle mass. And for ladies, it's much more challenging to build muscle than men. So the problem is, look, here's a real reason why Orange Theory, CrossFit, and these types of things are really popular with women. Women are much more social than men are. Okay. And I'm not saying that men don't like a team, military, sports teams. Like there's a lot of camaraderie. I'm not saying humans are very social. And women even more so. So you have that community, you go there and your friends are there and you have your little clique. Okay. But again, is the training that you're doing most effective for the results that you want? A lot of people want the look of someone, you're like, oh, I love her body. I want her body. I've heard this for decades. Oh, I want to look like her. Oh, I want her legs. I want this. Those people lift heavy fucking weights. They build muscle. They train hard. And they lift heavy weights. They're not doing tons and tons of cardio. And this is the problem with things like on social media. Off screen, these people are lifting heavy weights and they're doing all this stuff. And then when they're sweaty and hot and they have all this definition, they're glistening in the sun and they're running. Oh my God, I want her. She's running. Let me run too. It's not how she looks like that. That's not what got her to that point. That's not what got her looking like that, or him. You can run and look like you're ripped and shredded and all your veins are coming to the surface. I get out of the sauna, you're shredded and pumped, but going in the sauna didn't get me muscular. You know what I mean? So a lot of stuff that's filmed for Instagram and things like that, you have to get context. Zach says, I do upper lower split 6 days on and 1 day off. Wow. Not enough recovery. If I do upper lower split, I'm not training more than 4 days in the week. You're not getting enough recovery, my guy. Are you still improving? Are all your weights going up? Are all your lifts going up regularly? How long you've been training? How much volume are you doing? It's just not enough recovery. Work hard, nerd hard. Should I take vitamin D even if I work outside? Are you getting full body sun? What's your climate like? Supplementing with vitamin D is not going to be harmful for you. I take vitamin D and I live in Florida and I get sun all the time. If I get a ton of sun in one day, I might not supplement with it. Tiff says, so I can't Zumba and get shredded? Aw, man. Aw. Sorry, Tiff.
Hi, puppy.
If you want to see what Zumba and cardio does, I'm telling you, go to the gym. Go to the gym. Most gyms, at most times, there will be a lot of people on the treadmills, right? On the cardio machines or in the group exercise rooms. Look at those people. Overwhelmingly, do you want to look like those people? I know they're at the gym. I'm not saying it's bad. Maybe they're just going, whatever they're doing. I'm just saying the physique of people that do tons of cardio. Do you want to look like people that do tons of cardio? If you do, then do the cardio. But most of them are skinny fat or they have a lot of extra body fat and they're soft or in their group exercise and they look the same. They look the same all the time because they're just doing the same old thing over and over again, or they keep on doing more cardio and they're just tanking their hormones. They're just exhausting themselves. The people that look the best are the ones that are in the weight room. They're lifting heavy weights, not the look that I want personally. Okay. So look at what these people are doing. And then if you want to look like someone who does Zumba, then do Zumba. Anyone that looks good doing Zumba, I guarantee you they lift weights and they do that because they like it. Most of the people and the instructors and stuff that do Zumba and they look like muscular and ripped, yeah, because they lift a lot of weights. And they get more results if they didn't do so much damn Zumba. Nunu Ham, Papa Swole, how do I get more collagen in my diet? Different between collagen and gelatin. Yeah, they're different. You can get a quality collagen protein. There's some good ones, Nature Force, Sports Research. There's some good ones on Amazon. You can get a quality grass-fed or third-party tested collagen that has like different types of collagen. Collagen type 1, type 3, and there's other ones. So you can get a good collagen protein. They don't taste like anything. They usually absorb well. You can mix them into your coffee. So I've been experimenting and doing more collagen lately, and I like it. So collagen's great. But you also get it when you make bone broth, if you use ligaments and tendons and you're eating meat and you're using all those different cuts and stuff in your bone broth, you'll get collagen too, especially if you make it yourself. All right, last chance for questions. Drop them in the comments. Jair Marcelo. Papa's a better to eat before or after the gym. If you're having anything before, make sure it's carbs. Have a couple tablespoons of raw honey, eat afterwards. I mean, after the gym, I'm hungry, so I'm going to want to eat protein and maybe some carbohydrates too. But generally, if you're keeping your carbs around your weight training, that's a better way to do it rather than pounding carbs late at night. So it depends on what time you train. But for me, I don't want to eat a big meal before I train. I'm not going to eat steak and rice and stuff like an hour before I train. I'm going to feel full. So if I eat, let's say I'm training in the afternoon, I'll eat earlier in the day or have some protein and things like that earlier. And then before my workout, I'll just have a little bit of simple carbs like some honey or some fruit. And then I'll train and then I'll eat afterwards with more protein. Protein is very important. Very important. Nunu, do you think 2,000 steps a day is legitimate for staying unfat? I find it a weird cope. 20,000? Oh, please don't tell me that we're doing 20,000 steps a day now. Please don't tell me that's...
Matt Damon.
The 10,000 steps a day is just like some arbitrary number, and now all of a sudden people are going to be like, no, it's 20. Yo, you're going to be walking for 4 hours, dude. 20 is, you're just walking all day. I mean, I guess that's good too, but that's a lot of walking. That's a lot of walking. I think walking's great. I don't always track my steps. I don't wear a watch or anything like that, or have my phone in my pocket, in airplane mode, tracking my steps, because I'm walking around the property a lot, but I'll take Rufus on a walk. So There's a lot of ways to stay unfat. And to be honest, 10,000 steps, whatever it is not required to be not fat. It's great for general health, but honestly, the problem is you start getting people obsessed with, I got my steps in. Okay, did you lift weights? Did you go to sleep on a good time? Are you eating quality foods that are not inflammatory? Are you getting sunlight? Are you doing all these other things that are going to be much more effective for you to change your metabolism and improve your insulin sensitivity? Walking's great, but you don't have to obsess about 10,000 steps. You get 5,000. Oh my God, I didn't get it. You're fine. You're totally fine. Walking more is great, but the obsession over getting some arbitrary metric is not that important. But again, going on a walk is fantastic. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. Yeah, like, I burned this many calories today. What are you talking about? My app said I did this. My app said I need to go to sleep and take a nap now. You don't need to obsess over all that stuff. I don't care if I get 10,000 steps in a day. I might not. I don't care. Sam says walking makes you more aware of eating better, lifting, and all. I don't think it does any of that. Why would it make you more aware of eating better and lifting? It doesn't do any of that. A lot of times it actually distracts people from doing more important things. That's the problem. Again, nothing wrong with walking. If you love to get 10,000 steps, and go do 10,000 steps, but are you lifting heavy weights in the gym? Are you eating high protein? Are you getting rid of inflammatory foods? Are you getting qualities? Those things are much more important than whether you get 6,000 or 15 or 7 or 2,000. It's much more important. It's just much more important. Mel says, is the form more important than the weight lifted? Both are important. Lifting with bad form is asking for injury and or not targeting the muscles you're trying to hit. So form is important and the weight lifted, they're both important. The weight lifted is relative to your strength and your proximity to failure. So if you're just new to the gym, 10 pounds might be a weight that's great for you. If you've been experienced, maybe 90 pounds is great, but it really depends on your strength. Majin, Papa Swole, any advice on fixing anterior pelvic tilt? I'm lean and my belly is still protruding. Yeah, work your glutes, stretch and strengthen your hip flexors. But what you need to do is strengthen your glutes. Depends on your footwear. You got to make sure that you're working on your ankle mobility, but proper glute training. And not just stretching your hip flexors, but strengthening your hip flexors with like a monkey foot or a cable or a band or a kettlebell through the window of the kettlebell. Strengthening your hip flexors and doing things like the couch stretch, strengthening and lengthening your hip flexors and activating the muscles that are going to posteriorly tilt the pelvis. Drawing in maneuver, practicing vacuums, all these things are very important. And training with proper form too. A lot of it starts with the footwear and sitting down. People have very weak and shortened hip flexors because they're in passive flexion all the time sitting down. And most shoes are elevated heels and they confine the feet. So you're not walking properly and your heels are elevated, which lead to anterior tilt. This is why women, when they wear high heels, they have terrible, terrible posture and horrific lower back arches. And a lot of women are like, oh, my back hurts after standing all day. It's like, yeah, you're on your tippy toes all day and passively too. And it throws off your entire posture all the way up to your head. Tiff says, I love walking, but it does interfere with my strength training because I feel so wiped out before or after. I usually get around 4 miles every day. So you can adjust the volume and when you do it, that way you are not affecting your strength training. Again, when people obsess about cardio or any type of cardio, use it as a seasoning. Make sure you have a quality strength training program and then add cardio either after or around or on off days so it doesn't negatively affect your strength training. If you're not increasing your weights or reps consistently, then you're probably adding extra fatigue and you might be doing too much or walking too far or doing 4 miles at one time, then coming back, oh, I'm so wiped out, I can't lift. I don't blame you. Walking's chill activity. But if you're in Florida and it's 85, 90 degrees and it's humid, walking's it's not easy. You're going to exhaust yourself. All right. Thanks for watching on TikTok. We're going to move on to some balls deep content. If you want to continue watching the show, links in the bio. Come on over on Rumble at The Daily Swole or YouTube at The Daily Swole. And you can follow the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Like, subscribe, and follow the page for more. Thank you, TikTok. Thank you. Thank you. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Not bad. Let's go balls deep. Any other questions you can still drop in the chat.
That's deep.
All right. So I thought of you, fam, when I saw this on Daily Mail. I saw this yesterday, and I know we all say it. This is a headline on the Daily Mail yesterday. Illegal migrants with HIV molest young boy in the sauna on Royal Caribbean cruise. So as per the Swole fam, I quote tweeted it and I said, wood chipper, feet first. Oh boy, this is starting to get gross. I'm surprised they got arrested. Because if that was my child, they wouldn't leave the ship. If you catch my drift. Feet first. So they can feel the pain. I guess we'll get more of that. I wonder if this might be the same story from Dan Bongino. So let me read this quote from Dan Bongino. Today is March 26th, and I didn't swear in to waste your time or money. If you're committing crimes against children, you should probably expect a knock on your door soon, and it's not for a delivery. It's a bad day to be a bad guy. And this is a quote tweet from the FBI. Registered sex offender sentenced to 30 years in federal prison for exploitation crime against South Florida minor. So I'm not sure if this is the same story, but again, if you are preying on innocent children, be on the lookout because Dan's going to be kicking down the door, and good for him. Appreciate that. Fuck yeah! Insane shit. Insane shit. And in honor of not being on TikTok anymore, let's call a spade a spade. This is the most retarded post I've seen in years. From Chris Cuomo, not surprisingly. See how Burr has become part of the political zeitgeist? He's referring to Bill Burr, who has fallen far from grace and has completely become a woke tard. See how Burr has become a part of political zeitgeist? He is going to be the answer to Rogan and unseat him.
Matt Damon.
Let's check this out. No? I don't know where. No, he wasn't sharing any video. Anyone think that Bill Burr is going to unseat Joe Rogan, especially when he's spewing that liberal garbage? Yeah, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I mean, Bill Burr has always been, his comedy has always been kind of like whiny soy boy, like beta male comedy. And he has great delivery. Like I've laughed at his specials and jokes before, but over time it's just become increasingly kind of pathetic. And I think this country has slowly or has grown out of like the whiny complaining, it's just not funny anymore. And I know his wife is extremely, extremely liberal, so I'm sure that plays a massive role in it. But it's a soy boy beta cuck approach to please don't key my car, please don't cancel me, trying to cover himself with a victim shield. And pretty pathetic, especially with how the zeitgeist is actually going. Don't know what bubble he's living in, but it ain't good. It ain't good. So, I mean, his career is going to continue to tank as more and more people just don't want to listen to him cry and complain. As more and more people just don't want to support those that are retarded, for lack of a better word. Yeah, I don't think Bill Burr has taken over anything with Joe Rogan. All right? Just straight up. Used to be funny. I've laughed at Bill Burr jokes before in the past, and then over time it just became the same old, and just that screechy, whiny voice just kind of, I don't know, just doesn't do it anymore, especially when he's jabbering about insane garbage. It's just not funny. In my opinion, you can like what you like, but most people are not picking up what he's putting down. So let's get into a couple of videos. Let's do this one first. We're going to kick it off with enjoying food. Drop in the comments 1 or 2, and we'll raffle off the next one.
What's in the box?
This one's called Enjoying Food. Check it out.
Tries to make you feel ashamed for enjoying your food, whatever kind of food that is. And you know the vibe that I'm talking about. It's when people say, wow, you're really enjoying that, huh? Or, I don't know, like that kind of shady shit where you're like, I know what you're trying to say. Like, I know what the fuck you're trying to say.
You're fat.
That's their shame that they're projecting onto you. They see someone who is enjoying their food and that makes them uncomfortable because they never let themselves enjoy their own food. They feel.
I enjoy my food all the time. I just don't eat garbage, and I'm not morbidly obese. Bring back shame. Make shaming great again. This person needs a nice heaping tablespoon of shame.
Shameful about food and they feel stressed out about it, and for someone else to not be struggling with that pisses them off, and so they make it your problem. And if you want, you can tell them this: I am sorry that someone made you feel some type of way about food and that your relationship with food is hard for you.
Right. I have to feel bad about myself for calling it like it is. That's right. I forgot. I got to pretend like I'm the problem. Oh, someone made me feel bad. Okay. All right. I get it. Shame on me. That's right. Struggle session. Everyone gather around. Let me talk about my white privilege. I get it.
I've been there too, but I got to a point where I realized that I wanted to enjoy my life and that I could find balance with how I found joy in my life.
Tell that to your scale. You're able to find balance. You mean standing? Impressive.
And through that balance, I have also found stability within myself and an ability to nourish myself in the most loving way possible. And that does not include me denying myself of things that I want. Or you can just...
Yes. Live based on your impulses. That's right. Don't deny myself things that I want. AKA don't have any discipline. Don't use any logic, common sense, no knowledge, just impulse. Just eat what you want. See, again, this is like, I don't know, the trans version of Bill Burr or whatever it is. I don't even know what this is trying to be.
This.
Yeah. Oh, so fuck yourself. As it stuffs its face with ultra processed ice cream. Cool. Look, I'm not saying you can't eat ice cream. I'm just saying you shouldn't eat ultra processed garbage ice cream. So if you want to eat trash, eat trash. This whole projection, you're making a video about your justifications for eating trash, blaming other people that make you feel bad for eating trash, when it's your choice to feel bad for eating trash. I don't want to eat trash. I'm pointing out that you're eating trash, and you're offended because you want to eat the trash because you're an addict. That's the difference. Okay, one retard down. Let's do the next one. Nick says number 2. This is called Public Service Announcement. It literally says PSA, so it's probably not important. Let's watch it.
Here's a public service
Jesus Christ. I was not ready for that.
The eyes, Chico. They never lie.
Okay, deep breath. Here we go.
Here's a public service announcement. Did you know there's actually nothing wrong with being fat? Just because a person is fat does not mean they are lazy, unhealthy, binge eat, or have unresolved trauma.
Pretty much all the above or some combination. Let's go back over that again.
lazy, unhealthy, binge eat, or have unresolved trauma.
Lazy, likely. Unhealthy, likely. Binge eat, obviously. And unresolved trauma. With microaggressions these days, who doesn't have unresolved trauma? Have you seen these people? Have you listened to them talk? I mean, call it what it is, but yeah, pretty much all the above, actually. She just listed all the reasons. Let's listen to it again. Where's the lie?
Does not mean they are lazy, unhealthy, binge eat, or have unresolved trauma.
Easily 3 or 4.
Sure. Maybe some people in larger bodies do experience these things, but thin people do to the same extent. And sure, a person in a fat body might have a complicated relationship with food and their...
A complicated relationship with food. Yeah, like putting way too much of it in their face hole at the same time. That's pretty complicated. It's pretty complicated. How much can I fit in my mouth? How much can I swallow right now?
Body. But this is also just as common in thin people because we live in a culture obsessed with thinness and good and bad foods that change on a dime.
No, there are good and bad foods. There's no morality attached to food. Okay? I absolutely disagree. Gluttony is a real thing. Sloth, laziness is a real fucking thing. Jealousy is a real fucking thing. You know? Projected internal angst and anxiety is a real thing. Being a, I don't know, nutrient deficient vegan or whatever this face is a result of is a real thing. My God, man. This is just insane shit.
Been told from the time we were toddlers that people who are fat have done something wrong.
Well, what have they done right? Why are people fat? Well, it's the seed oils. It's in all the foods. Okay, stop eating them. But it's in everything. No, it's not. No, it's not. You just don't cook at home. Or you choose to use canola oil or margarine. Like, you're choosing these garbage products. Maybe you're not educated on that. Okay, I grant that. A lot of people didn't know or don't know. And yes, it is in everything if you're going around the back of a fucking alley and getting handed a grease bag out of a window, like a drug addict. It's in everything if you're eating everything. Okay? This garbage is in everything if you're fucking stuffing everything that you feel like in your face. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of these garbage ingredients. So it's definitely not going to help you be healthier. God, her face is frightening. Frightening. Let's continue.
To deserve the state of their bodies, and that thin people are morally superior because they've done something right.
Thin people. Enough with the thin people. Build muscle. Be healthy. If you're thin, you're not healthy either. You don't have enough muscle mass. I say that all the time. If you're skinny, not enough muscle. If you're fat, not enough muscle. Period. End of story. It's not about moral superiority. I don't think thin people are by default healthy. Most people are unhealthy. Muscle mass is a huge determining factor of someone's health. Sleep, all these other things and environmental factors, sure. So again, it's like a false argument. No one's saying thin people are healthier. Why do they always use thin? They don't talk about fit, right? They don't talk about muscular. They don't talk about like a good physique. They talk about thin because you're making an argument that's stupid. They're both unhealthy.
What a crock of bullshit. You can eat nothing but McDonald's and be in a thin body and treat your body very poorly.
What's your point?
You can be in a fat body and treat your body like a temple. Bodies come in all...
That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're not going to be fat. If you treat your body properly, you're not going to be fat. You're not going to be fat. More of these vegan thin people. Yeah, because they're starving to death. Yeah.
Shapes and sizes, one is not better than the other.
Yeah, don't be thin and don't be fat. Get swole, lift weights, build muscle. Don't be retarded. See, if you do what she's doing, do you want to be like that person? No, you don't want to be mentally insane and hungry. A lot of times these libtards are angry And they project that anger because they're fucking hungry, right? We use this trope like, I'm hangry, you know, angry because I'm hungry. Yeah, vegans are always angry. Why do you think these liberals are so angry all the time? They're hungry. I'd be fucking angry too if I never ate real food and I didn't work out and lift weights and get sun and touch fucking grass and get quality sleep. I'd be very angry too. All right, one more. Let them take Ozempic.
What's in the box?
Sure. Take Ozempic. I mean, I'm totally fine with natural selection. Let's just remove people from the gene pool. Why not?
Can y'all just let fat women take Ozempic if they want to?
No one's stopping you. No one's stopping you. Jesus fucking Christ, your voice. God damn it.
Can y'all just let fat women take Ozempic if they want to?
No one's
Unless
stopping you.
you've been a fat woman, you don't know what it's like to have to live in this society in a larger body. You don't.
That's great. That's great. Take care of your health and you'll never have to worry about it. Done. Moving on.
Get to have an opinion about Ozempic. You don't get to have an opinion about gastric bypass.
I absolutely have an opinion about all these things. They're cop-outs. Absolutely. You're going to cut your stomach in half because you can't forge good fucking habits. You're going to take a pill because you can't shut your goddamn mouth and go to the fucking gym and eat some damn steak. Idiots.
You don't get to have an opinion on Remy Bader. You don't get to have an opinion on
I don't even know what that is. What is it? Remy Bader? What?
You don't get to have an opinion on Remy Bader.
I don't think I've ever heard those sounds before. What's that? What is that?
About gastric bypass. You don't get to have an opinion on Remy Bader.
Someone tell me what that is, because I want to have an opinion on it quick. I must have an opinion on that new word.
You don't get to have an opinion on Barbie Ferreira.
Whoa! What are these things? Someone tell me what these are so I can make an opinion quick.
Ozempic. You don't get to have an opinion about gastric bypass. You don't get to have an opinion on Remy Bader. You don't get to have an opinion on Barbie Ferreira. Talk to any fat woman about what it's been like to grow up in a larger body. Ask them what it's been like. Ask them if it's been easy. So if modern medicine has now presented women with this option, why are we commenting on their decision to take it or not?
Because it doesn't solve the problem. It masks the problem, like all these prescriptions do. Thank you for playing. Oh, her ad is New York isn't dead? Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, well, that answers the question. We already talked about the mentally insane, so there's a start.
It's like, would you comment on my decision to be on antidepressants? No.
Yeah, I would. I mean, look, you're a candidate. You're a prime candidate. She's on antidepressants. No shit. What a soundboard. Saving that one.
Why are we commenting on their decision to take it or not? It's like, would you comment on my decision to be on antidepressants? No.
Yes. That's what I do. In fact, I'm going to comment on it right now. Not surprised. Ellie says, no surprise there. No one's surprised. Yes, I'm going to comment on it. You don't need that shit either. Now you do for the rest of your fucking life because you go off it. You're going to go literally off the rails and shoot up a school or something. Yeah, those things are garbage. You don't need them. What you need are better lifestyle habits. And if you're in New York City, yeah, that's probably the reason.
So why are you commenting on a woman's decision to get on a medication that helps improve the way she feels in her body?
Because it is a fundamental detour and a cover-up for the actual issue. I'm going to comment on whatever the fuck I want. It doesn't stop people from taking Ozempic. These people are going to fuck around and find out. They are going to fuck around and find out. Who's ready for the Ozempic trials in 5 or 10 years? You guys ready for this? I'm ready for class action lawsuits. I think this shit's going to be very, very gnarly in the future. There's going to be some shit coming out. It just hasn't been around long enough yet. Just you wait.
And don't get me wrong, a lot of the judgment is also coming from within the fat community. But it's like, girls, listen here. We're all...
That's right. That's right, because women hate other women. No woman wants to see another woman lose 100 pounds. They're jealous, and they're seething inside. They're seething. Of course it comes from inside the fat community. That's what communism does and Marxism does. Intersectionality. You're not as much of a victim as me. It's just a lot of hate. And they hate anyone that isn't pathetic like them. So anyone that kind of steps out, any frog that gets out of the pot, they're going to fucking latch onto and gnar that to the ground.
The same team. We've all been on Weight Watchers at 9 years old.
What?
We're on the same team. We've all been on Weight Watchers at 9 years old.
Nope. Oh, I don't have a vagina, so I can't have an opinion on this stupid shit. How many of you were on Weight Watchers at 9? So you had bad parenting and you were fed poison and you're angry and you don't know who you're angry at. You're angry at your parents. So you're just lashing out and, I don't know, projecting that onto other people. We're on Weight Watchers when you're 9 years old. That's the biggest scam. The Weight Watchers when you're 9. Okay, so look, bad parenting exists. Look, I'm not saying that people were given this knowledge. Most people are waking up now pissed off that they've been lied to their entire lives. Not just the legacy media, but with the food industry. You've been poisoned since you were a child. How much longer would my grandparents have lived if they didn't suck down margarine for decades? I don't know.
I'm never getting on that hamster wheel again. I'm never getting on the restricting and dieting, purging, binging ever again.
Okay, yeah, you're not going to trash your body. Cool. Are you going to eat quality foods like steak and eggs and lift heavy weights and take care of yourself? Oh, I forgot. Effort, habits. That's right. Just tell everyone else that they're meanie heads. Got it.
So if modern medicine is saying, hey, we have this thing that's going to make you feel more comfortable in your body.
Why are you feeling more comfortable in your body? I thought being fat was awesome. I thought being fat was great. I thought being in a bigger body was Yas Queen. I thought it was Yas Queen. I'm so confused, fam. Is it Yas Queen or is it not Yas Queen? I thought it was You Go Girl. I'm so confused. So now you're going to feel better. Why are you feeling better not being fat? I thought being fat was good. I thought it was fat phobia and the patriarchy and white supremacy. I'm confused. Guess what? You're supposed to be confused because it doesn't make sense. If you have a triple-digit IQ, you're not going to understand this.
Want to try it? Let fat girls do it. Well, why does it have to be so hard for them? Judging someone like Remy Bader, Barbie Ferreira, Mindy Kaling for taking Ozempic, it's like judging someone for taking an antidepressant, right?
Yes, I'm judging you for taking an antidepressant. Yes, I love it. It's like judging someone for taking an antidepressant. Yeah, you shouldn't be taking all that poison. Now, I'm not telling you to stop cold turkey. There could be side effects because these drugs are fucking poison. They don't help you. They don't help you, so you can't just go off them. They're designed so you can never go off them. Or if you do, you feel like an absolute slingshot fucking nightmare, so you go back on it. Once you're on antidepressant, they got you on the hook for the rest of your life. It's the worst shit. It's terrible. That's like judging someone. Okay, fine, whatever. Fuck your feelings. Antidepressants are garbage. Garbage. Oh my God, Papa's William.
Doing something to make their day-to-day life a little easier.
Welcome to life. Life's not easy. So instead of creating better habits, take this pill and feel magically better. No, you're still the same person. You're the same shitty person that found a little bit of a temporary shortcut because you paralyze your stomach and you're wasting bone density and muscle mass. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. I'm just saying good luck with it. Notice how I say don't take. I'm not saying don't take it, but I'm saying don't take it. I'm saying it's not a good idea. You're going to find out the hard way.
So here's what I'm saying.
Ugh, Jesus Christ. How? You got your point across. So here's what I'm saying. I could just start the video here.
Let fat women take Ozempic if they want.
And no one's stopping them. No one's stopping them. Which is the problem.
And just, unless you've been in a bigger body, shut the...
Now, once you've had sex with the woman, she will naturally start to depend on you, okay? All women do this.
Shut up, bitch!
I didn't know they stacked shit that high.
All right. Glorious. Fantastic. Holy Jesus. Let's do a throwback. Let's get into this. Whatever. Hey, antidepressants have worked so well, more people are on them, and people are more insane than ever. Looks like it worked. Like, we have all the evidence. Look, you want to run studies? You want to do studies? Then go fucking run studies. Can't you, most of you here, because you're intelligent, can't you just look at society and see how fundamentally broken it is and how many people are on antidepressants? Someone look it up. How many people are taking antidepressants? Isn't it some like 60%, some ungodly number? All right, I'm going to look it up. You guys can look it up on your own too. How many people in the U.S. are on antidepressants or SSRIs? I guess you can look up SSRIs. The number of people taking psychiatric drugs. Oh, look, everyone. Yeah, primary treatments for depression. No, there's... It's fucking scam. What a scam. No way. That number can't be right. Actually, it probably can be. Journalnow.com says 37 million. Jesus Christ. 37 million. Nearly 18. I'm just looking at different things from 2020. Nearly 18% of all adult women. Well, in 2020. Today it's probably double. Whoa, not shockingly, it's a lot more in women. You don't say. Oh, feminism strikes again. Feminism, selling your soul to a corporation that hates you. Feminism lying to you, telling you that you should be run through before you find a man. That's right. Breaking apart the family, fear-mongering about pregnancy and that kids are going to ruin your life and all that stuff, right? Excellent. Fantastic. It's great. Everyone's doing so well. All right, let's watch this throwback.
What's in the box?
I've never met anyone that's on antidepressants that is in a better situation from taking them. Just saying. Like, it's almost everyone that you're going to meet.
Day is tomorrow.
What the hell?
As a trans person, as a trans woman,
You're insane.
So, ladies, how you feeling about this dude calling himself a trans woman? You're not a woman, dude.
which one do I celebrate? Father's Day rolled around. I don't feel like a father. Mother's Day is tomorrow. I feel like a mom, but who celebrates me? Is there other people out there that you don't know which one you fall under?
Jesus Christ.
Are you a mom? Are you a dad?
You need help.
What do you think that dude's on?
What the fuck is that?
All right, let's give away today's Swole card. Fam, thanks for being here. Hashtag get swole. Don't get antidepressants and don't get Ozempic. Get swole. Hashtag drop that in the comments. Let's give away today's Swole card. Get swole. Get swole. Yes, queen. Scroll. All right, no, missed. We got a winner. Congratulations, LET. You guys got to drop that hashtag more. If you want to win today's Swole card, Ellie, dropping that juicy. Congratulations. Make sure you watch on Rumble if you want to win today's Swole card. All right, Ellie, congratulations. Send us an email to support@swolenumbers.com. Swole card 3240 SACE in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. Thank you, everyone, for being here. If there's any last chance questions or anything coming through, congratulations, ET123. Reminder, let's go over some of the new stuff. SwoleNumbersX.com to join the fam today. We got massive new drops this past week, new programming, new stuff for Maximum Swole. Make sure you check out the masterclass, full body workout 1 and 2 overview masterclass. This pairs up beautifully with the new full body split available for Maximum Swole. We got full body 1, full body 2, new drops. So make sure you watch that masterclass first. The masterclass is linked under those workouts, but it's right there on your page. We got curl bears over at papaswolio.com, and tomorrow's episode is private. So you're not going to see us here tomorrow. It's going to be live 6 p.m. Eastern time, Zoom call tomorrow, roundtable with the fam. You'll see the link on your app either today or tomorrow, so you can schedule it. So check it out this Thursday, tomorrow, the 27th at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Nunuham, our collagen peptide, same as collagen. Yeah, it's collagen. Yep. Vital Proteins is a reputable brand. So yeah, find something that you like, try it. And then there's a bunch of different brands. Find something that you like and then give it a shot and let everyone know what you think about it. All right, go get some sunnier nips. Go make some gains. Appreciate you being here. We'll see you tomorrow at the round table. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose, your boy, Papa Swolio. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
Then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack.